Spooky times are ahead of us because we are standing outside of one of the spookiest restaurants you can possibly find at Walt Disney World. I'm, of course, talking about Hollywood and Vine here at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Hello, everyone. I'm Craig Williams. I'm joined by a bunch of good individuals, including the one and only...
Yummy, yummy.
Well, that's Rhino. That's Rhino. He didn't want to say who he was. I just need to point out right now, we are here for Minnie's Halloween Dine. Rhino's not wearing a Halloween shirt. He's wearing a Star Wars shirt. He didn't get the memo. That's okay. Hey, who else is here with me? Why don't we take a walk over here? Hi, young lady. What's your name?
Erica.
Okay, thanks for joining us today. Where are you from?
Miami.
Oh, never heard of it.
So very cool. I've heard it's great this time of year. But yes, right now, Minnie's Halloween Dine is the theme of Hollywood and Vine. So at least for lunch and dinner, you can still have the Disney Junior breakfast here, but for lunch and dinner, you're gonna see at least Minnie Mouse in a Halloween costume. I'm sure Mickey's probably here too. I don't know who else is. I don't think I've ever done the Halloween version of this buffet. I know I have done I've done other themed buffets throughout the year here, but I don't think I've done Halloween. I could be wrong about that. I'm very excited though. Love Halloween, huge Halloween fan myself, and yeah, I hope the food isn't scary though. That would be a shame. But before we get started, I want to remind you this is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. If you like our content, you want to support us, book a vacation through Dreams Unlimited Travel. It costs you no extra money and you get the support of one of the amazing Dreams Unlimited Travel agents. And right now, I need to let you know we've also extended the gift card promotion that we are running through Dreams Unlimited Travel, where if you book a vacation package through Dreams Unlimited Travel, you can be eligible to receive a gift card of up to $300. Most people are going to get a gift card for right around like $50, but that's a free $50 that you just get for booking your vacation through Dreams Unlimited Travel. Use it on whatever you want, and I know that that promotion has been extended for travel all the way through March 31st. Erica, what date do they have to book by for that though?
September 30th.
Okay, there we go, September 30th. So now, without further ado, let me traverse these umbrella gardens here out front of Hollywood and Vine. We're gonna go eat at Minnie's Halloween Dine. Boo.
We're seated. I'm happy to report it's nice and air conditioned in here. I'm enjoying sort of a little bit of there's a little peekaboo like Halloween aesthetic here and there everywhere, which is really nice. We've got plenty of room at our table here. Erica, as always, has a little bit of a, dining allergies don't go away overnight. So we've got the allergy menu here, and much like if you saw our review over at Chef Mickey's, they gave her a similar sort of, basically a listing of everything on the menu. And what's really helpful for people with allergies is it's got kind of like check marks on here of what people, like if you have gluten, egg, fish, shellfish, milk, peanut, tree nut, sesame, or soy, it tells you everything that you can and can't have on the very, very big selection of foods here. So we've got dinner rolls up there. There's starters, much to Erica's happiness. There's peel and eat shrimps up there. Like a whole make-your-own salad situation. There's soups up there. There's a ton of entrees, carving station, kids selections, and a lot of desserts as well. So I am really excited to dive in here. There's a couple of things on this menu that are already calling my name. Our server, or not our server, a character attendant came over and gave us the lowdown on how all the characters are going to come around. And there's 4 characters in here. You got Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, and Pluto. So we're going to be seeing them in a little bit. But she was telling us one of her favorite items on here is the crispy tofu with vegetables. So I've got I've got that on my list. When I was walking in, I scoped out the dessert bar, and it looks like not only is there bread pudding, but there's an apple cobbler, a peanut butter and jelly tart, and a carrot cake cookie. Just give me the heart attack now, but let me die happy. So I'm excited to dive in here and get going on this. I don't know about these other two people, but Mama's hungry.
I thought I got like a scary thing going on, but you look so much better. You got the rhinestones, the spider, everything. You're a fashionista. As of right now, I'm having a wonderful time. The first thing I noticed is that there are actually a lot of options here for anyone with a dairy allergy. I mean, in general, this allergy menu has a lot of green check marks, which makes me super happy. So I want to talk about some of my favorite things. I know Rhino mentioned peel and eat shrimp, and I was going to get them. I love peel and eat shrimp, especially with a nice cocktail sauce, but the tofu, I was sold on it. So I immediately went to the tofu, and I absolutely loved it. It was one of the favorite things I had for my meal. I also got I'm reading, hold on one second here, the plant-based roasted mushroom risotto. That was really good. The only thing I have to say is that some of the food was pretty salty, but overall, I think I didn't hate anything I had. Overall, it was all good. They have these olive oil roasted potatoes, which are also plant-based, that were delicious. I'm trying to see something else that I got. They had these salmon cakes instead of like salmon. Sorry, salmon. I recently hung out with my dad, and my dad still says salmon. And then in Spanish, we say salmon. So, sorry, salmon.
Likely excuse.
Salmon. They had salmon cakes instead of crab cakes. And I had that. It wasn't my favorite thing, but I think the idea that they had about it was pretty cool. What else? I didn't get any of the rice or anything, but everything I had was really great. But of course, my favorite part of this whole thing was meeting the characters. Minnie is in the most beautiful Halloween costume I've ever seen. Her hat has so many details. Her dress is beautiful. She's got rhinestones, a beautiful cape. Mickey also looking cute as ever. Every interaction was great. They really took their time with us, even though they're being rushed through. And as you can kind of see, it's loud in here. There's a lot of kids. They have a lot of people to see. But the interactions so far have been phenomenal. And that really elevates the meal for me because it's your standard buffet. They have food that you wouldn't find anywhere else. But, you got your standard line. You pass through, grab what you want, sit down. And what really makes this special are the characters and the fact that it is super Halloween-y. It's perfect. Right now, I'm just really happy.
Oh, man. Boom.
Hi, Mickey.
I love that. Mickey just genuinely surprised Erica.
So scary.
Ooh. She told you, Mickey.
At least it's you. And not someone actually scary, Are you having a good day today, Mickey? Yeah? Good. We loved everything. All the food was so good. Yes. We're definitely going to have a good day now that we ate all this good food. Thank you.
I feel like I learned a lot from previous buffets before I had to come here and tackle this one. So right off the bat, even though that garlic focaccia roll sounded delicious, I'm skipping the fillers, I'm skipping the salad, I'm going straight to the good stuff, and I feel like I did eat a lot of great things. Listen, I know it's going to get long. Going to talk about every single one of them. You're welcome. I'll be quick with it. But sour cream and chive with potatoes. I thought these were a really nice side dish. The sour cream was just coming through a little bit. It made it go with any meats that you wanted to put with it. I had it with the salmon. Salmon wasn't my favorite. I mean, it's just it's farmed salmon to begin with. But the miso glaze, I don't want my salmon sweet. I don't know why people always try to make it so sweet. Right now, they had a baked marinated chicken up there that I thought was just absolutely divine. It fell apart just so easily, and it just, for me, I know Erica mentioned the salt. I know Rhino mentioned the salt. This was one of the more, Rhino's going to mention the salt. This was one of the more balanced poultries that I had on here. Actually, it might be the only poultry I had on here. Did I have any other poultry on there? Did I have something else chicken? No, I did not have the chicken from the kids area. So this is the only poultry I had. The caramelized Brussels sprouts, to me, were a miss. They were, I like my Brussels sprouts to kind of like get a little bit mushy and then crispy on the outside. These were just like really heavily seasoned, and I was kind of chewing my way through them. Not bad, not great. A miss. The cheesy potatoes, 2 ways, diced potatoes as well as hash browns, was absolutely wonderful. I think the ones that I had at Chef Mickey's, I will always go for cheesy potatoes. The olive oil crushed potatoes, I thought again the seasoning was done right on this, kind of like smashed potatoes. It was a nice side. I did not care for the mushroom farro risotto. I thought it had a weird aftertaste to it, and I took like one bite and I'm like, oh, that's not for me. Chef Ramsay would have thrown that plate of risotto on the floor and then cursed obscenities in front of all these children here. The beef stew with root vegetables was actually really good. The beef was very tender, fell right apart. Had some, like, even though it says root vegetables, had onions in there, little potatoes. I feel like there was like some beans in there too. I don't know if those accidentally fell in, but I thought this was a nice little dish. It needed to be placed though next to either the mashed potatoes or the smashed potatoes, because you needed something to soak up the liquids. The Mexican street corn was the most inauthentic street corn I have ever had, but I still enjoyed it very thoroughly. It was on the salty side again, but also there's that nice little bits of cheese in there. There was not a single char on any piece of corn. It's as if they poured out a can of corn, heated it up, threw some cheese and some seasoning in there, and that was it. But it still worked for me. The roasted pork with spicy mustard sauce, it was great pork. The mustard sauce was very, very light. I would have liked a little bit more mustard on that, but it was a good piece of pork. The roasted butternut squash was fine. It was obviously slightly sweet, but there was pepita on there, adding a little crunch. Again, another very nice side. As Erica lied to Mickey saying the roasted turkey, everything was great. The roasted turkey wasn't. It was dry. I don't want to pour gravy all over that. So that was a big miss for me. There was strip loin that had horseradish on the side, served, basically rare. That was probably my favorite thing that I had of all the meats. I want to talk about the kids section real quick. They had penne pasta, baked chicken, green beans, white rice, corn dog nuggets, chicken tenders, mac and cheese, as well as Rhino's favorite, potato barrels. And I did sample a little bit of this because my son's starting to eat more and more solid foods. And so if we were to bring him here, I want to know what he would actually be able to eat. Even though he would never be able to eat the amount that this meal cost, I did try the penne pasta and marinara. It was kind of just like the soggiest pasta in a non-offensive sauce, but perfect for little ones. The mini corn dog nuggets, I sampled those for myself, as well as the chicken tenders. Both of those were spot on. So for kids, I think it's honestly a solid menu. And that doesn't even count the desserts. Oh, we've got a Minnie sighting. Minnie, who are you wearing? Who are you wearing? Is it, you made it? Minnie made it or something? Wow, I really love that. Where did you find the spider at? Is it a real spider? Oh, you just showed the spider. You made it all. Wow.
You're so talented.
Yeah, I love that. And the hat, that's great. All the butterflies, I didn't even notice those before. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm obsessed with your dress. It is just perfect. You said yes to the dress. You are the definition of fashion, Minnie. Absolutely. Oh, love you, Minnie. Oh, in the cape, we've got cape action. How great. Bye, Minnie. Oh man, I just want to stop talking. Why am I the one who has to interact with these characters? I'll talk about character interaction for a second. As you can see through these two moments, these characters are absolutely incredible, and they are giving us so much time in the world. They're giving every table so much time in the world. The costumes are top-notch for this Halloween season, but the way they are just giving so much attention to everyone that it's been a while since I've had a character meal where I felt like even more impressed than this right now. And I know we've had some decent ones lately, but this is absolutely top-notch. For the desserts, rapid fire on them. I didn't care for the bread pudding. Rhino will talk more about that. The Mississippi mud cake was basically chocolate, some pudding, some whipped cream. Oreos, really good. The apple crumble was decent. I had that with ice cream on it, and it was fine. But my favorite dessert was the carrot cake cupcake. That thing was so good. It just it wasn't the most blow your mind carrot cake, but it was a solid dessert. So I'm very happy. I'm full. Let's hear what Rhino has to say.
One of the things that was really surprising to me about the dining options here was the diversity of options. And Erica was actually telling me that what's kind of cool about Minnie's Hollywood Dine and Vine, Hollywood Dine at Hollywood and Vine, is that it's a seasonal menu, so it changes. So that's a lot of fun. I'm super happy that we're here for Halloween because you know how much I love Halloween. That being said, I share some differing opinions, I think, from the two of you. I'll just start with the character interaction since they've been flowing around us nonstop here, is that I think they've all been top-notch as they've been coming through, just really out of this world, kind of knocking it out of the park. Completely opposite of our experience at the Contemporary at Chef Mickey's, so that's a really nice positive change. I'm just peeking around to make sure one of them isn't going to pop out and scare me like it just did to Erica. But okay, on to the food and what I ate, and some of the highlights for me is I actually want to start by saying there wasn't anything I had that I would flat out say I didn't like at all. Like being like, no, I'm disgusting. I'm really. It was really unfortunate I put this in my mouth. The only one that I thought was definitely like a little lower on the list is the salmon cakes that were on here. Sorry, I just lost it. I thought I saw it on here. Oh, they're not on it. Oh, okay. They were a new item. Okay, so I was looking at the seared salmon with the miso paste, but yeah, the salmon cake for me, it came out. I loved the idea of it, but it came out just like a little dry, like dried out salmon. So that didn't quite hit the way I wanted. But I will agree with Craig. There was that chicken dish up there that he is not kidding. That was like really, really good. It was really well cooked. I agree with everything he said about that. I don't agree with what he said about the mushroom risotto. I actually quite enjoyed that risotto, but I am not familiar with risotto either. And I do know on a lot of cooking shows it is the thing that is obviously always the thing that gets chefs kicked out of Top Chef and various other things. So I'm not an expert on that. I agree with him. The Brussels sprouts were like, there was so much seasoning on them. It was one of those where you're like, it reminds me of that scene in Mrs. Doubtfire where he's trying to make them dinner for the first time and he goes to pour the seasoning in and it all just dumps on it and he tries to scrape it off. I feel like that's what happened. And they were like, just send it out. But, you know, the Brussels sprouts themselves I enjoyed. And the crispy tofu was something I went back and got like multiple servings of. What I did with that is I got a bunch of the tri-blend lettuce and I put it on top and I pretended like I was being healthier and would just eat it like a little salad because that had a little bit of a thick, sort of a thick glaze on it. But yeah, the street corn, everything was definitely like you'd take a bite and you'd be like, oh, there's a lot of salt in this, a lot of salt. So just something to be aware of. You might carry a little bit of bloat afterwards, but it is an all you can care to enjoy menu. So that's going to happen whether there's salt or not. So I just want to look and see, make sure I didn't really miss any of the bigger ones. The macaroni and cheese was interesting. I feel like, is that a famous item here or not? Could either of you know? Because it had shrimp and bacon in it, and I was like, what a weird combination. It was exactly what you think macaroni and cheese with shrimp and bacon in it is going to taste like, but it was just so bizarre that I had to have it. So, interesting choice. But I did sample the kids section because Craig is right. I love a good potato barrel, and I'm happy to report they were crispy and delicious. And I had one of the corn dog nuggets too, and I would say they taste exactly like they do at Casey's. So those were there. Those were good. The oven roasted turkey breast that they cut, I don't know if I had a different piece, like a different bird that was cut than his, because mine was perfect. It was juicy. I hate using that word, but wet? I don't know. There was a lot of, I hate myself. I'm going to move on from that. The desserts. the desserts. Let me tell you. Okay. I think for me, the cobbler was vegan. I didn't love it. It was very thick and syrupy. And my problem was I was scared while I was scooping it because the topping wouldn't come off. And it just kept sticking to the spoon. But there was another person where I was like, oh, God, I'm holding them up. So I was panicking. I put a little soft serve on top of that, sweet baby, and it was good. So I would have liked a little more crunchies, but that was also on me not taking the time. I thought I liked the bread pudding more than that. But here's the thing. This is like the second time at Disney I've had bread pudding where they love to put raisins in it. Don't put raisins in your bread pudding. It was just on top, so it was fine. I actually liked, I think, the peanut butter and jelly tart more than the carrot cake cupcake. The carrot cake cupcake was really good. It was nice and light and fluffy. The peanut butter in the peanut butter and jelly tart I thought could be, because it's like kind of a mousse, I thought it could be a little heavier on the peanut butter flavor, but overall, like, I liked it. I thought it was like light and fluffy, and I don't know. I liked it. I gotta say, I'm like, the reputation that this place I had heard from people, I don't know. I think I'm like pleasantly surprised, and I know we'll give our number ratings in a while. The only thing I'll say is that you probably heard it while we were all talking, is that, you know, this is a big restaurant, it's character dining. The way this building is made is that it's a cavernous sort of room, so it can get very, very loud. Right now it's not completely full, so I can only imagine how loud it can be when it's really full. But again, you know, if you're taking the kids and you see characters, it's expected to happen. So just something to let anybody out there, maybe some neurodivergent folks who have issues with sound or things like that. So, yeah, why don't we do a rating system, and I'll stop talking for now.
You look so cute.
Look so good.
Are you going to sing into the mic? You're so cute, Mickey. Can I take a picture with you? Look at your spiders. I love it. Well, folks, it's time for us to give our ratings here at the end of this video for Hollywood and Vine. I'm going to start with my ambiance, and I'm giving that an 8. Part of me wanted to give it a 9. If it was a 9 or a 10, it's because there would be some more pumpkins laying around. I think there could have been a little bit more of that Halloween decor than just like at the front. But they have been playing Halloween music, which is great. So I'm going to stay with my ambiance at an 8. The presentation I'm basing off of the buffet and how it looked, and I'm going to give that an 8 because it looked nice and clean, and the cast members back there were constantly watching the buffet, making sure that if something was, you know, nearing its end, they were switching it out. They were on top of everything, so that was really awesome. Quality and taste, I'm also going to give an 8 because everything I had was good. I did have some problems with like things being too salty, but nothing was horrible, and nothing was like out of this world. So I'm staying with my 8 because I would come back and I would eat this food again. As for service, I'm going to give a 10 because every cast member we've come in contact with has been phenomenal, from our server here to the character attendants, and then I spoke with some cast members in the kitchen that were very helpful, so that's where my 10 is at. Cost, this is a decently expensive kind of experience, so I'm putting it at a 7 because it's not as expensive as some other places. And as for the characters, I'm going to give them a 10. Each character was phenomenal and really took their time with us, and I loved all the interactions. And that puts me at 51 points out of 60, which is a 4.2 out of 5, which would give you an 83%.
She's shorter. Shortest first. We go in order of height. So my numbers and my scale is for ambiance, I'm going with about like a 6.5. I think I agree with Erica where like it is like I love the characters and the costumes, and I like the old Hollywood like 1950s diner vibe. I do think like for the price and what it is, like, you know, there could be a couple haystacks here and there, and maybe just a few like streamers or, you know, garland strung about, orange garland or something, just to pump in that Halloween spirit just a little bit more, and, you know, keep it still in theme. Like, especially if you do like a lot of that like shiny metallic glitter that like I associate kind of with that 50s aesthetic. You know, and then I think having more of that would also help soak up a little bit of the sound when it gets like crazy loud and stuff like that. But again, I get it. Families, kids, all that sort of stuff. So I'm not really knocking it. I'm just giving it, it's like a 6.5 for me. The food prep and presentation, I'm definitely giving an 8. I thought all the food looked really good, especially for a buffet. They were constantly like rotating the food. I saw fresh food coming out left and right. And everything looked very appetizing as you went down the buffet. So I thought that was all pretty solid. We were also here, we started the journey at a less full time, and so I don't know if that had something to do with it too, but it looked good. For quality of taste, I'm giving it like a 7.5. I agree with what Erica said. I don't know that there was anything that necessarily like blew me away, but there wasn't anything, again, like I said in my dining review portion of this video, that there wasn't anything that I was like actively disliked or was like, this was gross. And I did go up more than once for, some items. So I think that says a lot. So I enjoyed it, and I'd like to see what the next version of this menu has in store for it as well. In terms of service, it's easily a 10. I mean, with the interaction we had with Laura, the person who was the character attendant, and then our server, whose name is just slipping out of my mind. She was Kate. Kate, she was nice. She was helpful, but she also wasn't like constantly here. She didn't make us feel rushed. She didn't make us feel like, there was never any pressure on anything, and I feel like she came back the appropriate amount of time. So I appreciated that quite a bit. The cost, I have it like a 7. It is, I believe you said, a little bit more expensive than the Chef Mickey's breakfast, so that says something. But I thought character interaction and the number of options kind of factor into that. It's just, I put it at 7 because I think it was just around $60 a person for lunch, like right under that, like 59. And I know that can get really expensive, especially if you're like a family of 4 or, 2 people and stuff. So it's definitely like a good special occasion sort of a place from my perspective. But yeah, so I put it around a 7. Character interaction, a 10 easy. You've seen it in this video. If it hasn't come across in this video, all these characters have come and gone and waved and blown kisses and come back, and like it's been excellent. And I've been watching them like around the restaurant interact with these people behind us, like giving autographs, taking photos, all around us. And they've really, I haven't seen them like rush from place to place. I've seen them take their time when they need to. And it's been really, really good. And that really does add to the atmosphere and everything like that in such a great way. So for me, that makes my total 49 out of 60. And if you do that math, that actually comes out to a 4 out of 5. Isn't that a shocker, everybody who always says I have something to complain about? Eat a pumpkin. Can I take a picture with you? Oh my God, so nice to see you.
You can tell me to eat a pumpkin because I am definitely having the lowest score of the table here. For ambiance, I give this a 4. I hate the aesthetic inside here. It does have the Hollywood vibes, obviously. It's very wide and open, and that makes it super loud. And even with such a high energy place like this, I can't stand the loudness of it. Today it's getting to me, so that's factoring in a lot. And even like the old Hollywood stuff, yeah, I like some of it, but then it also kind of half reminds me of a crappy New Jersey diner look on the inside, and then that goes out the window. So 4 for me on ambiance. Food prep and presentation, I'll give it a 7. They were right, it was great when we first started eating, and as it got busier, they weren't keeping up as much. And like, I know when I was taking photos of stuff, they were quick to change everything out. And so it's just how I'm gonna land with it, between like, it's kind of an average from the start of our meal towards what I've seen during the end of it. For quality and taste, I'm giving it a 7, and basically everything I had today, I would rate somewhere like up in the higher numbers, but I also looked at some stuff like the tofu. That was never going to do it for me. The salmon cakes looked disgusting. I wasn't trying to give myself anything easy to hate. So the stuff that I knew I wasn't going to enjoy, I just steered clear of. And that's landed me around a 7. Service is a 10. They usually, people who come here more often will make the jokes that if you're at a buffet or anything that's like family service style, that's usually the cast members who aren't always the greatest, because they make, a lot of times they're just bringing drinks, collecting tips, and then removing plates from tables. So the service isn't always great, but that's been the absolute opposite here. This is like some of the the better cast members we've interacted with as of late. So they are killing it. Congratulations. Bravo to them. I was looking for a better word, and it came out, and now I sound sarcastic about it. I'm being honest. They have been incredible here. The cost, I'm going to give it a 7. It is on the expensive side. You know, you do get your drink included in that $59 for adults for your meal here.
Non-alcoholic.
But non-alcoholic, thank you very much. There are extra cocktails and beers and wines that you can have if you want. I'm pretty sure you can have anything you want because the restaurant's connected to 50s Prime Time and the Tune-In Lounge, so I'm sure that's where they get all the drinks from the bar. But yeah, it's on the expensive side for the food. However, when you factor in, like, this is where you meet these characters in their Halloween costumes at this location, like, that's worth a lot of money because these are some of the best costumes in terms of Halloween costumes. So definitely worth the little bit of an upcharge. Going back to the ambience actually for a second, the one thing I wanted to mention that you two talked about, it kind of plays into this meal. For breakfast, they still do the Disney Junior version. So I think they can't go too crazy in terms of decor because it's not a Halloween breakfast. It's just a normal one. So that would kind of throw it off if there was stuff all over the place there. I'm sorry, I don't know why. I just jumped to that. It was just in my mind. Characters, 10 out of 10. Nothing else needs to be said about that. That brings my total to a 45 out of 60 or a 3.75 out of 5, which I think, considering how much people have hated on this restaurant for years and years, that's still a very solid score overall. And I was trying to real quick find too, we keep talking about how much it costs for adults, so I've been trying to find the cost for children. And Erica, if you can get on that,
Give me the mic. Just pass me the mic underneath.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I forgot to say is I think I just kind of wish maybe there was more like actual fall themed stuff, like a pumpkin flavored dessert or something like that.
Gotcha. Okay. No, I do agree with that. We missed the fall flavors in that way. $38 per child, ages 3 and 9 plus tax and gratuity. So that's your price there. For our meal, that's all I can talk about. It cost us... Sorry, wrong side here. After the annual pass discount, our total was $159.30 after tax. It was $169.65. So it was just over $200 after the tip, which I feel like is fair for everything we experienced. We've had a great time. We're in the air conditioning. I'm full. I'm satisfied in that way, and I'm in the Halloween spirit. It's making me wish we could go to the Halloween party tonight. We don't have tickets. We'll do that. Maybe we'll do that again at some point. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But that's going to do it for this Disney Dining review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you were watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up, leave comments, questions, video suggestions in the comments section. If you're listening to this, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, leave us ratings and review when possible. And if you want to help support us more, book a vacation through Dreams Unlimited Travel. Get a free no obligation quote today at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. That's going to do it for myself, Rhino, and Erica here at Disney's Hollywood Studios for this dining review. Take care. Bye-bye. Stay hungry. Stay spooky.
Yummy, yummy.